Rushmore is directed by Wes Anderson and his second feature-length film, and it stars Jason Schwartzman and Bill Murray. So this is our second in the Wes Anderson film series of reviews. This, I will say it right off the bat, is my favorite Wes Anderson movie of all time.
I think it's his best. It's not my personal favorite, but when someone says it's his best, I can't argue against it.
Yeah, I think it's his best as well, but let's just start with the strongest asset of this movie, and I would say it's Bill Murray.
Oh, hands down. I mean, this is, I've said, in the Bottle Rocket review, how Wes Anderson brings out the best performances. This is hands down my favorite, what I think is the best performance of Bill Murray's career in a very long line of great roles. He's funny. He's mean. He's sad. Like in one scene, you hate him and just like despise him. But then the next scene, you feel so bad for him. You completely are with him on this journey. And I think just like Max Fischer, played by Jason Schwartzman, who is also fantastic in this.
Yes.
I think that I like Herman Bloom's character arc as well. I think it's just very well executed. And once again, you're talking about one of the greatest movie stars of all time. Just laying it out on the line.
Yeah, I think this is one of his best roles, and you're right, he has such a great arc, and so does Jason Schwartzman, and Wes Anderson achieves this where not only with Bill Murray's character, but also with Jason Schwartzman, you love and hate these characters so much, both of them. Jason Schwartzman can be a little shit sometimes, but other times you feel really, really bad for him. And their relationship and how it evolves through this movie, watching it again, it always surprises me how many ups and downs there are in this movie. There's so many like highs and lows, victories, defeats, all throughout this entire movie, and it is carried by, I think, also Jason Schwartzman's best performance in any movie.
Oh yeah, I would say that Schwartzman's like right up there with Bill Murray as far as how great this performance is and how much it carries the movie. And I think the thing I love most about this movie, it's a great examination of love and relationships and like how they can affect you. Right. Like, these two men go crazy over the same woman, and they compromise their friendship. Like, Max even compromises his morals.
It is the first Wes Anderson movie I've ever seen, so I think that resides with me. Also, I saw this when I was 15, 16 years old. I was the character of Max Fisher's age. So, also seeing it as an adult, you can really see how naive this kid is. He's really dumb, he's really rash, his emotions are all over the place, and he doesn't really know what love is very much. In contrast to Bill Murray's character, which is he's gone through such a shit life with his horrible kids and his horrible marriage, and he doesn't really know what love is. So once again, it's sort of pinning just two idiots fighting for the same thing.
Yeah, and when the battle is on between the two of them, that's when this movie gets great. It's so funny. Everything from just Herman Bloom's reactions to things to how Max Fischer reacts to things, and you see a man who's in his 50s and a teenager like acting on the same maturity level, and it's hilarious.
And they enjoy it. There's this point where he puts the bees in the office or in his hotel room, and there's this smile. Like, Bill Murray's excited, like, oh man, I'm gonna get him back. And it's like this battle of wits through the whole thing. Also, what makes this my favorite Wes Anderson movie is the tightness of the script. There is not a wasted line in this movie. It's all perfectly delivered, and I think this is Wes Anderson's best script to date out of all of his movies.
Personally. Yeah, it's a great tale of redemption. I mean, we talked about how immature these characters are, and it's a tale about growing up, just realizing your decisions and the effects they have on other people, and just taking other people into consideration, because both Max Fischer and Herman Bloom are very greedy, self-motivated kind of people. Like, they just want everything for themselves, and they don't really consider how it affects other people.
Right.
But through the, ups and downs, their trials and tribulations of this movie, they learn to grow from that, and I think that's why this is probably Wes Anderson's best script.
Yeah, definitely, and the funniest, I would say. Just like Bottle Rocket and all of his other movies, there's so much subtle comedy in this, but it all just lies like between the lines. It's the facial reactions, and obviously Bill Murray doesn't have to do much to make us laugh, and in this movie it's no exception. He's just really funny when he's on screen, doing borderline nothing. Yeah,
it's easily Wes Anderson's most quotable movie too.
Yeah.
There are some really great lines in this one, and I just love how the characters in this movie, they're not smartasses and like a self-aware kind of winky, like, ain't I so clever? Like, they're smartasses and like, this is how dumb you are compared to me kind of way. It's just so cynical, but so fun.
Because it's a bunch of rich boys.
Right. Like, the speech in the beginning, like Bill Murray's first lines, I love it. That's like one of my favorite bits of dialogue in all of film.
And I was reading about him, Bill Murray loved this script so much that not only did he say he'll do it for free, he just thought the script was so awesome. He said he'd do it for free, but also they needed a helicopter shot that he personally paid for. Right. He was like, I just want this movie to happen and I want it to succeed.
Yeah, they had to give him the SAG minimum at the time of like $9,000. And this is the late 90s. Bill Murray was one of the highest paid and most in demand actors. Yeah. But this kind of turned his career around. Like he realized he had made all the money that he could make, so now he just gets to do movies he wants to do.
Right, and this
because he can
shifted
afford
into,
to.
yeah, like Lost in Translation, more dramatic roles, more meaty roles that Bill Murray deserves.
Something I've personally enjoyed about us going through Wes Anderson's filmography, in order, is we get to see the evolution of his direction. And you can just see that it's a clear step up from Bottle Rocket. He has more style, more camera work, and I think that's what makes Wes Anderson a distinct comedic director. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Judd Apatow's movies, but for the most part, he sets up a camera, puts the actors there, and then the dialogue is what makes you laugh. But Wes Anderson has visual comedy, much like Edgar Wright, for example. He uses the filmmaking process and technique to incite laughs non-verbally, and I think that this is just another step up. And also in terms of soundtrack, it's like, oh, now he can afford better songs. Like, where
I was just gonna say
more Rolling Stones.
This might be the best soundtrack of Wes Anderson. Also,
I would
chose the
say it's
music
my second
perfectly, really, because this movie, as I was going through, I'm like, wow, every song is awesome.
Oh yeah,
in this
you
movie.
got Cat Stevens, Rolling Stones,
Right.
you got Love, you got all these, you got Velvet Underground, you got a great song by them in there, and I think that the end, Ooh La La by the Faces, is the perfect way to end this movie. It sums up the movie entirely.
And it's just, I think that you can tell he's getting more confidence, Wes Anderson, with this movie. He's just confidently directing this movie, and it's so steadfast. And once again, not a wasted line, not a wasted shot. Everything matters in this film, and it comes together perfectly.
Yeah, there's very little, if anything, to complain about this movie. It's just expertly made.
I got nothing.
And for someone's second movie, it's incredible. It's an incredible feat.
Buffs.
Okay, those are our thoughts on Rushmore. Let's put a score to it. Go for it.
Yeah, I believe that there aren't any perfect movies, but there are movies that deserve a perfect score, and Rushmore is one of them. I can't give this movie anything other than a 10 out of 10. What a feat. Writing, acting, directing, everything about this movie is great. If you haven't watched it, please go.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm going 10 out of 10 as well. I don't see one flaw in this movie. Every time I revisit it, I see new things. I love it even more every time, and I think it's a film to be studied and pretty much cherished on all levels, because this is just a fantastic movie. Go see it if you haven't.
Please go see this movie.
Yeah.
Buffs.
Okay, that's our review for Rushmore. Have you seen the movie? What do you think? What do you think of Wes Anderson? Leave all your comments down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
And be sure to join us next week when we review his next movie, The Royal Tenenbaums. Big cast, a lot of family issues, just more meaty Wes Anderson stuff. So we'll bring you that review next week. But until then, don't forget,
there's no place like the theater.